allylic oxidation. So in case if we have an allylic group here, okay, so we can see there is an allylic position here, and all we need on the allylic position, we should have at least one hydrogen here. Okay, at the allylic position we should have at least one hydrogen, and when you treat that with selenium dioxide, now the reaction will go through some concerted steps. Got it? So where the pi bond will attack and try to take away this proton, and this bond breaks to make this as a double bond here, and this double bond the pi bond will attack on selenium. So this is a concerted step that has been observed. Okay, right. So as you get that concerted step, you can see that now we have uh, on this side, if you check it out, the double bond has shifted onto this. Imagine the green mark which I kept here, right? So this is an isotopic carbon, maybe carbon 14. So just to showcase how the reaction is happening, right, we can check it out. Now what's happening here is that the lone pair present on oxygen here, now I'm talking about this oxygen. I've kept that oxygen here. These two are same oxygens. So that would attack on this pi bond here, so that again this pi bond migrates as a double bond here, and this bond breaks towards selenium. So selenium will take away its electrons, it will become OH, and oxygen gets connected here with carbon, right? Then we do hydrolysis. So we treat that with water. So oxygen, lone pair on oxygen will attack on proton and it gets protonated. So you can see it got protonated here. Okay, so once it got protonated, next solvolysis will take place. Water will attack on this carbon because this becomes a leaving group now. It becomes a leaving group now. So this bond will break and electrons will come back on oxygen. Thereby you can see that this allylic alcohol is been formed, and selenium will turn out to be SeOH twice. So selenium in a way got reduced there and double bond was oxidized with OH. This is a concerted step, which means this pi is been driving back here because of the selenium taking away its electrons from here. See, the electronegativity of selenium is increasing because of strong withdrawing groups. So what will it do? Instead of making a bond with carbon, it is trying to pull away its electrons. So as it starts pulling away electrons, this pi bond will start moving here, creating the pi star orbital vacant for lone pair electrons to attack there. You may have seen this kind of a reaction in Diels-Alder's reaction. Remember? There also terminal
Yes,
pi
yes.
stars. There also terminal pi stars LUMOS will become very stable. LUMO pi stars will have very least energy because of resonance there. Okay, that is the reason the pi is attacking. Check this out. Next process, oxo process. You have come across this oxo process before also. So if we take dicobalt octa carbonyl groups, that is CO2 CO8, in the presence of carbon monoxide and sufficient amount of hydrogen gas has been sent. In that case, we will see CHO being formed at the carbon here. CHO will be formed here, right? And if you reduce that CHO, catalytic reduction is been done, then it will become alcohols. For this type of mechanisms in oxo process especially, always imagine that CO plus H2 which I am giving, carbon monoxide plus H2 which I am giving, you can imagine that it will form an electrophile CHO plus and a nucleophile H minus. So CHO plus, and it will follow Markovnikov's addition. So CHO plus will added at this, carbocation will form here, and that will take away this H minus. So that's how we will have this aldehyde formation. And once you get an aldehyde, reduce that by catalytic reduction and you'll get alcohols. So I suppose you can imagine that. Okay. Based on that, let's see what are the products we can expect in this particular question. Make a note of oxo process first and try to see what are the products we get here. See the type of products we can get here. First case, first we will have, you know, Markovnikov's addition with CHO, right? So CHO will get added here, and the carbocation which is forming here will have H addition. Okay. Don't rearrange. Usually in oxo process, rearrangement is not usually seen. Okay. Next, check out here H2O and H plus. In case of H2 and H plus, we know that here H plus get added. Okay, I'm only writing the major product. So first carbocation will be formed here. By adding that, it will get rearranged to get carbocation here, and on that we will have addition of water. So OH will come here. So that will be the final product. In oxymercuration demercuration, we will see the same thing here, where we will have first OH been added here. Okay, considering oxymercuration demercuration is done with water, so we will have the secondary alcohol forming. In case of HBO, it will form a primary alcohol. This will be the product. Okay, whenever you have, you know, halogen water like bromine water or chlorine water, always imagine this as X plus and OH minus. X plus as the electrophile, OH minus as the nucleophile. And you have to add without rearrangement. So X, which is an electrophile, got added, and then nucleophile will add at this, and it will follow Markovnikov's addition always. Next, seed from alkyl halides. In case of alkyl halides, we have seen recently what happens if you have Rx treated with NaOH. It will give alcohols by SN2 mechanism. So that means this R should be SN2 ready. Let me revise what should be that R. In that case, it should be methyl, it should be 1 degree, or it should be maybe even 2 degrees, allyl, benzyl. So in all of these cases, we can expect SN2 mechanism to favor, as OH minus is a strong nucleophile. So we can see SN2 can be favored, and this X which is there could be chlorine, bromine, or iodine. So in that case, we will get these alcohols. In case if you have tertiary alcohol, tertiary alkyl halide, to get alcohols, we directly use solvolysis. So we use solvent, and solvent, which is a weak nucleophile, will slowly attach here by SN1 mechanism. So we have learned about alkyl halides already, just make a note of that. Right. So the other route to get the alcohols, you know, instead of directly taking alkyl halides, we can convert those alkyl halides into Grignard's reagent, GR. So what we can do, we take alkyl halide, treat that with magnesium ether to Grignard's reagent. So first Grignard's reagent is formed, then treat the Grignard's reagent with excess of oxygen. On treating with oxygen, it will form alcohols. Just make a note of that. I'll show you the mechanism here. Right, so we can see this is oxygen. So R minus will attack on the, you know, pi star orbital of oxygen, and this lone pair will shift onto this oxygen. So we will get ROO minus MgX plus. This kind of a product can be formed here. Okay, and you know that peroxy bonds are highly unstable. OO, because of their huge repulsion between the lone pairs, they are unstable. Now if you use the second mole, this is the second mole which I am using. When I use the second mole here, again this R minus on the other side will attack, okay, and this bond being weak, peroxy bonds are weak, so they will immediately break, which means this bond will get replaced towards this oxygen, right, and it will get 2 moles of RO minus MgX plus. And once you get this adduct, this type of a formation is called adduct, a thick, because it has a charge on it, they will form a thick solution. So this, if you treat with water, it would form alcohols immediately. Make a note of that. So how we use Grignard's reagent directly to convert into alcohols just by using oxygen. Next, we could get alcohols from aldehydes, ketones, or all the acid derivatives. So how we can extract from that, let us see. See that now. If anybody has missed anything in writing, just leave it a space, little bit of space, just try to understand the concept first. Any doubt in the concept, just stop me there. Check this. From aldehydes or ketones or acid derivatives, how we can derive alcohols. First, we can do catalytic hydrogenation. So which means if I have aldehyde, if at all I have aldehyde and I treat that with H2, nickel or palladium, platinum, anything, okay, we can directly get alcohols here. So we will get RCH2OH, okay. So it's simple, this double bond which is present on both the sides, we will have hydrogen being added on that. So that's how it will get alcohols. Same thing here, C double bond O, we will get alcohol here also, and this alcohol will be secondary. Okay. The minute you have carboxylic acids or its derivatives, it becomes very difficult for reduction by H2 or nickel, palladium, platinum. So as a point you can remember that catalytic reduction by H2 nickel, H2 palladium, H2 platinum, they do not usually make a good impact of the reaction in case if you have any carboxylic derivatives. That means this X could be either OH or Cl, OR, right, NH2, any of this. So these reagent does not make a greater impact. They do not give reduction that easily. Okay. Reason is the double bond is quite stabilized by resonance with the group which is present here with OH or Cl or OR. Okay. So you do not see that reaction happening. So for that we usually use a different reagents. Okay. Rutatium mixed with carbon or barium oxide, cupric oxide mixed with Cr2O3. They can only stop that, they can only increase the reactivity of carbon and hence the reduction will take place. So now if it gets reduced, what is the product you will have is RCH2OH. No need of mechanisms for this, you just need to know what is the catalyst used. So for acids only this particular catalyst has to be used. Same way for esters, this catalyst is most useful, other catalyst does not give a good impact. So what is the product? Again an alcohol formation, RCH2OH, and in fact we will have two alcohols here, we have R-OH also. So these two alcohols will be formed. Overall catalytic hydrogenation, you have learned this in alkenes, alkynes also. If you check out the reactivity, ions are the most reactive and then enes are more reactive. Enes which is also less substituted or more reactive. More the substitution becomes, less will be the reactivity of alkenes. Then aldehydes are more reactive, then ketones, right, then esters, then acids. Okay. Anhydride and amides information is rarely found. Okay. So we would usually see esters and acids. So this is the reactivity, guys, please make a note of that. Generally esters do not get reduced by H2PT or H2PD or H2 nickel, okay, but in case if you have benzene form present on it, So it has been exceptionally seen that benzene get completely reduced here, okay, and ester would remain. So this has been found with HT-PtO2, which is known as Adams catalyst, or palladium with carbon. Just make a note this as an exception in this case. Otherwise benzene cannot be reduced by simply, H2 by platinum or H2 by nickel. Rann nickel to some extent is used, but that too at a very high pressure. Okay. So these are catalytic hydrogenations by which we can produce some alcohols. Next we see nucleophilic addition. So on aldehydes, ketones or acid derivatives, we can make nucleophilic addition, and by which we can get the alcohols form. So we have seen this Grignard's reagent being used exhaustively for reducing these aldehydes or ketones into alcohols. See, for instance, here we have an aldehyde here. This aldehyde, when you treat that with RMGX, that R will get attached as a nucleophile here on the carbon R dash, and O minus will get hydrolyzed in the second step to get OH. What we are getting is 2-degree alcohol. So if you have a general aldehyde, we will always get 2-degree alcohol. But in case if you have a formaldehyde, in that case we will get 1-degree alcohol. Because R dash CH2OH will get 1-degree alcohol. But in all the types of ketones, if any type of ketone, if you react that with Grignard's reagent, we will get tertiary alcohols. So we will get OH, R dash and R dash. So this is tertiary alcohol. Make a note, nucleophilic addition. See, the general mechanism which we think about is that double bond O is present, RMGX is present. Okay. So what we are expecting, this R minus will attack here first, and then we may get O minus, MGX plus and R. Now this mechanism is accepted, but more accepted mechanism is the one which I am writing right now, which is a 2 moles mechanism. 2 moles mechanism, as in what it has been more observed, that if you take 2 moles of RMGX, if you take 2 moles of RMGX with 1 mole of aldehyde or ketone, anything, then 1 mole of RMGX will get attacked by oxygen. The lone pair on oxygen will attack on magnesium. As it attacks here, this bond will break, and as it breaks here, this R minus which is present will attack on RMGX, I mean with the magnesium here, and this R minus, right, is going to attack on this carbon. So you can see a concerted step is happening here, where lone pair of oxygen is attacking on this magnesium, this bond is breaking, attacking on this magnesium, this bond is breaking, attacking on the carbon, right. So if you see the transition state will look like this, where we will have a 6-membered cyclic transition state. You can see a 6-membered cyclic transition state is happening. Okay. So in which, now if you observe, we have got R, C, O, MGX with minus and plus, with R and H, this is what we got, and the other one is RMGX. So in the overall reaction we have utilized only 1 mole, but for the reaction to facilitate, those 2 moles have been used. Okay. So sometimes in the question it will be given as 1 equivalent, then also you should write this overall reaction as as forming alcohols. Do not think that sir only 1 equivalent is given, so reaction won't happen. Reaction will still happen. Okay. Only thing is you will always see the mechanism will always go with 2 equivalents, which means for every 1 mole here, 1 mole will be used for as an acid base reaction here, Lewis acid base reaction. The other one has the nucleophilic addition. So once you get this here, we will hydrolyze. On hydrolysis, we will get R, C, OH, R and H. Why this mechanism is more accepted? Because this allylic magnesium chloride, when it was reacted, this problem has been identified. So first write these notes. Right, see this mechanism here. So in case of allylic magnesium chloride, suppose if this end we have a uh, isotopic carbon. So the isotopic carbon one was found to be major product. Got it? So what it has been found that we have R, C, OH with hydrolysis. I am writing. We'll have H, and this has become CH2, CH double bond CH2. This has become the major product because this has been the carbon 14 attached. Okay, that's why this 2 mole mechanism is more accepted. Now how the reaction is happening? The lone pair present on oxygen is attacking this magnesium. This bond is becoming double bond here, and this bond is attacking on carbon. Note that. Let us see these two questions. Suppose if we have a keto group and on the same ketone on the carbon somewhere we have bromine here, and when you treat that with magnesium ether, first we will have a Grignard's reagent forming this double bond O, and MgBr is formed, right, which means this carbon will have sufficiently delta negative. So intramolecular nucleophilic addition will take place, which means this carbon will attack here. So if you number that, this is carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 5-membered ring is forming here. You can see a 5-membered ring is forming here. Okay, with a methyl group present on it and O minus MgBr plus. This is what you will have. This adduct formation is seen. And then on hydrolysis, we will get this OH. That would be the final product. See the next question. Suppose if at all I need to get benzene to convert into chlorobenzene, I could use Cl2 by H nu, but again I have to control it a lot, or simply I can use Cl2 in Fe. So that will make chlorobenzene formation. Then if I treat that with MgCl, Mg in ether. If I treat that with Mg in ether, I would get that as MgCl, which is Grignard's reagent. Once we have Grignard's reagent, if you treat that with HCHO for aldehyde, we know nucleophilic addition will take place. So we'll get H, 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 O minus, which on hydrolysis will become alcohol. So what we get it is benzyl alcohol. So I guess you understood how we can prepare benzyl alcohol. First exception 1. Let us see what happens if you have a ketone which is sterically hindered. So first exception is ketone which is sterically hindered. Okay, so what is the requirement here in this case? What we are expecting, suppose Grignard's reagent has at least one beta hydrogen. If it has at least one beta hydrogen and forming more substituted alkene as product, This condition has to be fulfilled. There should be at least one beta hydrogen. Second thing, the product formation should be more substituted alkene. Okay. In that case, what we can expect, the H minus ion from Grignard's reagent, H minus ion from Grignard's reagent attacks the carbonyl, attacks the C double bond O, reducing it to 2 degree alcohol. Reducing it to 2 degree alcohol. Let me show you how. For example, if you have R, C double bond O, R, and these are, both the R's are very bulky. These two are very bulky. So bulky in a sense, it could have at least, some kind of a formation like this. This could be some R, this could be some R, this kind of a R groups. So when they are bulky enough, then what we can expect, that the beta hydrogen from the carbon from Grignard's reagent like this, CH2 minus MgBr plus, in these cases, then this would come as H minus and attack this carbon. This would come as H minus and attack, and this minus will close as double bond. Like I said, this is only possible when the beta hydrogen which is removed will make an alkene formation which is very stable. I mean, we should get at least more substituted alkene. In those cases, this is feasible. So we will have this as OH with hydrolysis here. So we will have OH with R and H. So this is that H which was replaced from here and it got added here. Okay. That plus we have this double bond formation CH2. These two are the final products. Please make it as a note. This is when you have, when ketone is sterically hindered, and has alpha hydrogen, then Grignard's reagent can abstract alpha hydrogen and enolize the ketone Let me show you how. Suppose if we have C double bond O and we have one hydrogen here, and if we have R minus MgX plus, see this R minus could be simple ones like CH3 minus or C2H5 minus, got it? Right, straight chain, any straight chain minus. Okay. So in that case, this R minus will extract the proton here, convert that into a enolate C double bond O with carb anion formation here, which will undergo tautomerism here. So we will get C O minus double bond C and this. Okay, and in hydrolysis you can see that first it will form enol. Right, sorry. On hydrolysis, first it will form enol, which will further form ketone on tautomerism. Okay. So you won't see final product has been changing, but one thing you can see that R has become RH. R minus which was there has become RH. So that is to be noted. Now let's see how Grignard's reagent work in the case of acids and acid derivatives. Suppose first one, let us see, if we have simple acids R C double bond O OH and I treat that with CH3 MgBr. This is sufficiently negative and this is sufficiently positive. So what we can say that the reaction will go mostly with acid base reaction, and it will form RC double bond O minus MgX plus. Now RC double bond O minus is high, enough resonance stabilized. So if you treat that with further CH3 MgBr also, no reaction will take place. So with acids, Grignard's will only give acid base reaction. With carboxylic acid, only you would see acid base reaction happening. But imagine if the same reaction, got it? Take it as a note. If it was R C double bond O OH, and instead of using Grignard's reagent, if at all I use Gilman's reagent CH3Li, this is also sufficiently negative, this is sufficiently positive. So first it will form RC double bond O minus with Li plus and CH3 4. Now this lithium plus will have high polarizing power. This will have high polarizing power, which will keep that carbon to have sufficient, positive character on it. So because of its high polarizing power with lithium, delta positive on carbon is still sufficiently enough for reaction to happen further, which means if I treat with one more CH3Li with minus and plus here, this will again attack on this carbon, allow RC O minus CH3 O minus Li plus and Li plus. Okay, and this on hydrolysis we will get R COH and OH CH3, which will further form R C double bond O CH3. Now once you have a ketone, ketones will anyway react with ketones or aldehydes will react even much easier way. So if I take one more mole of CH3Li, so this CH3 minus will attack here. So we'll get RCO minus CH3 lithium plus with water will undergo hydrolysis to make ROH CH3 and CH3. This is what you will get. Got it? This is after hydrolysis, step by step. You can, without hydrolysis also, you can do it from here itself. Check out this step here. So let me write step by step here. This is the first step. This is the second step. Second step, we can stop even at after hydrolysis, we can stop it here. Or again, I can react after the formation of ketones. Or what we can do here, what is happening, if you check out the step here, RCO minus O minus with CH3 formation here, correct? Here itself we can have CH3 minus Li plus, which is forming here, correct? So this CH3Li can be attacked here itself and this group can leave with lithium. So we can have RCO minus CH3 plus, because this is 2 moles of lithium, so Li2O can be formed, right? Then on hydrolysis we can get RCOH CH3. So in short, how many moles of CH3Li was used? First mole is to make an acid base reaction. Second mole which we are using is to convert into this O minus group here. Okay, more like 2 OH groups. That was the second mole, right? Then the third mole which was used is again to convert that into alcohols. So 3 moles have been used here. So if you have 3 moles given in the question, you can imagine it can go up to uh, alcohols. If the question is given only 2 moles, end it at ketones. Okay, so I'll write it as a note. 2 moles of CH3Li stops reaction at ketones. 3 moles of CH3Li with hydrolysis stops at alcohols. So this is an exception. Instead of using Grignard's reagent, if you use Gilman's reagent CH3Li, this is what you would get with acids. This time we'll react this with C double bond O, OR dash, which is ester. If we treat with ester, if we treat ester with Grignard's reagent, then we can get alcohols, tertiary alcohols, CH3, CH3, okay, which means I require at least 2 moles of it. Let's see the mechanism. See, aldehydes, ketones, acid derivatives, everything goes through same mechanism, nucleophilic addition only. So you know, back of the mind you should be clear, and most of the time nucleophilic addition is the rate determining step. The first step where nucleophile is adding is the rate determining step. Okay, so that's kind of very generic here, so we don't have to keep mentioning again and again. So CH3 minus plus, so it would attack here, this bond will go again. What is the mechanism also known as SNTD? Okay, or this is also a substitution addition, right? So first you can see a nucleophilic addition is happening, right? So first mechanism, if we check out what is happening, we have RCO minus OR dash and CH3 got added, right? Immediately this minus will close as a double bond here and RO minus will release. So you will get R C double bond O CH3. In a way you can see that this OR minus or RO minus is been replaced with methyl. So we can say this is a substitution reaction. So it is substitution nucleophilic, okay. And what kind of a reaction it is? First an addition is happening, then an elimination is happening. So it is SNAE kind. So in Grignard's reaction with acid derivatives, we can see that first an SNA is happening. So like this, you know, you might get in the options in the questions whether there is any SNA happening in the reaction or not. So in esters, we can see that first an SNA step which is forming a ketone. So this is step 1, where you can see 1 mole of Grignard's reagent has already been used. Step 2 is that this ketone which has formed RC double bond O CH3, if you treat again with 1 more mole of CH3 MgBr, okay, minus and plus, so it would attack here, okay. This is also following by SNTD, so we will have this as RCO minus CH3 and CH3. Now there are no leaving groups here. Now there are no leaving groups here. So on simply hydrolysis, we will get the alcohols. OH, CH3, CH3. So you could see minimum 2 moles are required for ketones to convert, for esters to convert into alcohols. And the alcohols usually you will get are tertiary alcohols. Make a note of it. By the way, there is one more alcohol present. If you check it out, R dash O minus, which has come out, that is also present in the final solution as alcohol, right? In short, I can say that if this R is, if R is hydrogen in esters, we will get second degree alcohols. If R is, you know, alkyl or aryl, anything, we will get 3 degree alcohol. Let's see typically what type of a questions are asked, you know, in the formation of alcohols from esters. Suppose if at all I have 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, yeah, Br and Br, and I treat that with, let's say, magnesium and dry ether. Think what is the first product forming, and that product, if you treat that with H C double bond O, OET, and then hydrolysis, what should be the final products? Think what are the final products. So initially magnesium will form Grignards on both the sides, we know that, so we can get MgBr. So let me write down here, Br Mg with connection here MgBr. So this is formed first, or let me just write it as A and B for your convenience. So this is A. Now this A is being treated with HC double bond O, OET, right? So HC double bond O, OET. Just now we have learned that the first mole will form the ketone and make an SN, you know, AE reaction. So that means this OET will remove and this get added. So without mechanism I am writing it here, check it out, HC double bond O, and this entire group is added. I am writing with number also 1 2 3 4 5. So we can have addition here with 1 2 3 4 5 fifth carbon and MgBr. So 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the intermediate ketone which has been formed. But within the molecule again I have one more MgBr. So here this delta negative present on carbon will again attack here. So which makes it, and thereby this will become O minus. Now we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6, a 6 membered ring is formed here, correct. So with O minus present on it and H, which on hydrolysis form an alcohol, second degree alcohol. So you can see this is a 2 degree alcohol forming. This type of questions are very typical in JEE, so you should be able to figure it out. Let us do one more. So if we have Br and Br here, first Mg in dry ether, second H C double bond O, OET, third hydrolysis. Try to make out the product, right? So check it out. First again we'll write the Grignard's reagent here, so we'll get MgBr and MgBr. Then with first on treatment with this we'll get OET leaving out, so we will get here as C double bond O H with MgBr present. Now this delta negative present here is the one which will attack on this carbon, right? So thereby we will see this type of a ring formation is observed. I mean this type of a bicyclo formation is observed here with OH on it. This will be the final product. Anyone has a doubt, please do ask.
Sir,
Yes, beta.
in first step itself, I think it will close off, no, sir. That means instead of both MgBRs, that
As
ring will close off, no, sir.
as long
Both at,
as right here we
both
can
at
get
the
two
same time
products
means
here.
probability.
We can get this, okay, or we can proceed to this. The point is, if you have three membered ring like this This termination happens at a much faster rate as compared to that of this termination. Understood? So if Br and Br was present here, no? If Br and Br are present here, so this termination happens at a faster rate as compared to that of this one with 4-membered ring. Okay, so you would still observe sufficient amount present which can proceed forward to get this. So in fact, this is found to be 66% the solution. Questions could be given where esters could be cyclic beta. In that case, how do we do? Check it out. Suppose if we have double bond O with this cyclic ester, and then I take 2 moles of, or I'll simply write this as CH3 MgBr excess. So obviously it don't require more than 2 moles, and this is how the reactant is given. So you're supposed to figure out the product, right? So see the mechanism here. First, we know that there would be double bond O. So first CH3 MgBr delta minus, that will attack here, and this bond will leave, correct? So we will have double bond O with CH3 with O minus. This is what you will have. This O minus will be with Mgx plus, correct? Now for the second mole, if you check out CH3 MgBr, this is delta negative, again it will attack here, so we will have O minus with 2 methyls now with O minus. There are 2 methyl groups, methyl and methyl. So which on hydrolysis, right? So we can have here OH, methyl and methyl group here. This is the first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth carbon. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth carbon. On fifth carbon we have ended up with OH. So this will be the final product. So on one side we will have this primary alcohol, and the other side we will have this tertiary alcohol form. Okay, instead of giving excess, now I'll mix the first question and the second question. Okay, whatever the first type of question which we are using, I'll try to, which means on both sides there are, Grignard's cases. So check out, for instance, if you have double bond O with ester here, this is an ester, and this is treating with MgBr 1, 2, 3, 4 member here. Now think about it. This is the first reaction, second is hydrolysis. So first ring will open with forming of ketone. So on this side I will write the, I'll start with carbon numbering from here, okay, just for our convenience. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and this side we have O minus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the fifth carbon we have double bond O, which is now getting connected with this 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we have MgBr, right? This is what we have first, and again this fourth carbon one is getting attached. So you can see this carbon which is present, delta minus, is going to get attached here. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can have again a 5-membered ring formation. So we will have a 5-membered ring formation with O minus, and this group will continue as O minus here. 1, 2, 3, sorry, one more carbon, OH on hydrolysis, and this would also become OH. So this will be the final product. So given any type, you should be able to figure out how it is happening. So this is an important reaction with esters. So second one was esters. Now let us see third one. Third one in acid derivatives is acid chlorides. So which is R C double bond O Cl. So here also we require 2 moles of R dash MgX. If I treat that with R C double bond O Cl, okay, I will get this as R C O H R dash and R. So you can see again I'll get tertiary alcohol forming. Mechanism is the same. This time Cl minus will first leave. This is a better leaving group. Got it? And then R minus will attack on it. So that's how the reaction will take place. Fourth, check out the reaction with the another derivative of carboxylic acid is amide. This is acid chloride, this is amide. So if you check out the reaction with amide, RC double bond O NH2, if you treat that with R dash MgX, so we will have R C double bond O NH minus MgX plus. This is the first thing formed with R dash H. Reason being, now there are protic hydrogens present here which is sufficiently acidic. So R minus will attack on this H, take away the proton and becomes R dash H. Okay. Now here the resonance will become even stronger when you have N minus, right? So the reactivity of carbon decreases. So if you have any further RMgX, no reaction will take place after this. Got it? So reaction will end up at this salt as RC double bond O NH MgX plus. That's all. I guess you understood that. If you see the reactivity now, if we check out the reactivity of it, I haven't done anhydride, sorry, let me put anhydride also. Fifth one, R C double bond O C double bond O CH3. So in this case, if you check out R C double bond O C double bond O CH3 plus let me take CH3 MgBr. So if we treat with that delta minus plus, so again this group will attack here, this group will leave, so we'll have CH3 C double bond O minus MgX plus R C double bond O CH3. Ketone is formed. This is step 1. Step 2, again with ketone 1 more mole will react with Grignard's reagent CH3 MgBr minus plus, so we'll get this as R C O minus CH3 MgX plus. Both of them under hydrolysis, both this under hydrolysis, we will get one CH3COOH, the other one what you will get is COH CH3 CH3. These are the two products which you will have. Got it? Well, if you leave it for prolonged time, there may be esterification happening in case if you take any acidic solution. But let us not go into that detail yet. All I know is that just like acid chlorides or esters, acid anhydrides will also give tertiary alcohols, 3-degree alcohols. If you see the reactivity wise, if you check it out, then R C double bond O Cl will make a better reaction as compared to that of anhydrides, as compared to that of this anhydrides, as compared to that of esters, as compared to that of amides. This is the reaction which you will see. This reactivity is only for RMgX. Okay. There is one more acid derivative which is cyanides or nitriles. See, any species which on hydrolysis gives the respective acid is called acid derivative. So whatever I have discussed, whether it is acid chlorides, anhydrides, esters, amides or cyanides, if you take all of this and hydrolyze, you will get the respective acids. Okay, that's why they are called acid derivatives. Now if you check out cyanides, R C triple bond N, if you treat that with, let me take Grignard's reagent as CH3 MgBr. Now in this CH3, which is delta minus N plus here, so this would attack on carbon, will get C double bond N minus MgX plus and CH3. This is what you will have. Now this C minus is not going to get again resonance stabilized, N minus is not going to get resonance stabilized here. So which means if you have another CH3 MgBr coming here, delta minus N plus, it cannot approach this carbon because this entire species is negatively charged without resonance. Okay, so no further reaction will take place. But if you hydrolyze after this, like we have CH3 step 2 double bond N minus MgX plus, if you hydrolyze this, okay, then this bond would break, C double bond N bond will break here, so we will get that as C double bond O CH3 plus NH3 will be forming, and magnesium would become this as MgX and OH. Okay, no matter how much excess amount you give, the reaction will still end up with ketones only. Even if you give excess amount of Grignard's reagent also, the reaction will not go beyond ketones. So this is a good way of preparation of respective ketones. If you see the hydrolysis step, just I'll give you a brief mechanism because you will see this mechanism again in amides and everywhere else. So double bond N minus MgX plus. As soon as you hydrolyze here, N minus will take away this H plus and you'll have R CH3 double bond NH plus MgX and OH formation. These are called imines. These functional groups are called imines. C double bond N. So we'll get an imine formation CH3 C double bond NH. This on again hydrolysis H2O, water will attack on carbon, lone pair will shift onto nitrogen. This happens because of the electronegativity of nitrogen here. So we will get OH2 plus. Internal transfer will take place, intermolecular proton transfer. So this H gets transferred towards nitrogen. We will get R CH3 C OH with NH2, right. Again on hydrolysis H2O, the lone pair will attack here, NH2 will come. This reaction happens slow because NH2 doesn't come that easily. OH and OH2 plus NH2 minus which will extract the proton from here and it will become CH3 C OH and OH, and this two OH groups on that carbon will become double bond O. So that's how it would become a ketone.